Yo, 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 what it do, family? It's your Uncle T coming back at you once again with another ToombsTalk. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, coming rocking with your Unc. It's been a little minute, but I wanted to come forward with y'all with the great news, the gospel about water, holy water. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into it. One of my good friends sent me a podcast. I just digested that, and it got me on this tangent. It got me reinvigorated, reignited about my love affair with water. Now, for those of y'all who've been following your Uncle T for any length of time, know I fucks with that good water. Now, this is not the best example, mind you. This is Arrowhead spring water, but it's better than a lot of other waters. And it's in plastic. I don't recommend plastic at all, but do the best with where you are and under the conditions that you're in. So I'm in a hotel. So I got the 2.5 gallon Arrowhead spring water, but it's not just about the water. It's the quality of spring, the nature of spring water itself, and the nature of water. So when I was listening to this podcast, what really got me is they talked about this 12th dimensional aspect of water. Now, 12 dimensions, that's deep, right? For most of us, we learned the first 3 phases of water. We learned ice, solid. We learned liquid state, which is water, and we learned gas, the H2O that evaporates, right? Or the steam that builds off. So there's also a 4th phase of water. For those of y'all who don't know, there's even a book, I believe, literally called The 4th Phase of Water. But there's this easy or I just had the terminology. It's easy water. It's exclusion zone water. So it's basically this 4th phase of water, which is more of like a plasma, right? So we've got solid, liquid, gas, and we've got this plasmatic state of water. And there's a lot of the waters within our body that are in this easy exclusion zone 4th phase of existence within our body. It's more of like a gel plasmatic type of substance. And that makes up a lot of the fluid that is in our body because it's structured water. It's highly structured. It's highly, structured molecularly, so that way it forms a harmonic frequency. Now let's talk about these different aspects of water. Why do I get spring water? Because it's naturally structured. It's flowing out of the earth in its natural format where it's been grown, aged, filtered, and bubbles out at a particular temperature. And it's basically like the blood of the earth. This clean, pristine spring water bubbles out of the earth at like 32 degrees and gives you this life-giving essence. And as it flows down the springs and eddies and things like that, the work of Victor Schauberger talked about how it's always moving in a spiral. And basically we see that in all aspects of the universe. The Fibonacci sequence, this aspect of spirals, constant spirals. And so you're gonna see one of my devices right here. Let me bring it over. Is this iTaurus. And it's this spiral-like device that I use to charge my water. But let's get back into the qualities of water. So we've got spring water, and then you've got the municipal city tap water or filtered water. Now again, this is water that's gone through a process of filterization. Now with the tap water, stay away from the tap water. Do not drink tap water. If y'all drinking tap water, you might as well unsubscribe to your Uncle T. If not, get on some quality water, at least filtered water, because the tap water still contains the chlorine, it contains fluoride, and it contains the pesticides and the prescription. They found that within the tap water. Not to mention, microscopic things of toilet paper and, feces and things like that. So stay away from the tap water. Get you some filtered water or some spring water. Again, spring water has this natural quality about it that gives it this life-giving energy, but we can also charge up our water. Now, like I said, I know about the 4 phases of water. They started talking about these 12 dimensional phases of water, which blew my mind away. And it's gonna lead me down a rabbit hole for sure, on these different explorations and these phases of water. But even when you think of the 12-strand DNA, you know what I mean? The helix, the double helix, all that memory can be encoded on just a single droplet of water, let alone this energetic aspect of water that is the DNA. They've had like the DNA strand taken it out, and that essence is still there. And could it be that it's the finest water vapors that are still floating, or also encoded in the outside water vapors? You know what I'm saying? Who knows? But there's this aspect of information that the water carries. And even with the work of Emoto showed that if you place certain words, living words, loving words, and you freeze the water, it'll show up microscopically as like a snowflake. And then if you put words of hate, disgust, things like that, it shows microscopically as just disfigured, and it looks really ugly and gross. So we know that water is a liquid crystal. You know, it comprises, it's found all across the cosmos, and it contains hydrogen, holy hydrogen, which is that first element in the periodic table of elements, the most abundant element found in this third dimension. So when we see water, it's not just there to hydrate us, but it has this aspect of certain level of consciousness and information, memory, and all of that it wants to bestow unto us if we choose to utilize it the way it's supposed to be utilized, or to its highest capacity. So for myself, to its highest capacity, I have this tachyon power card. I've had this for years, probably over a decade now, and it's basically got some good quantum energy, and infuses that into tachyon energy, infuses that into the water. This is it's got a copper rodent coil, right? And it's pumping frequencies into the water. It's a biophotonic, I call it some photonic frequencies, and it's got 432 hertz, 528 hertz, and 7.8 hertz pumping out of this right now. This PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic frequency device. So again, we're charging this water. And let's go ahead and take a little sippy sip with your unk. For those of y'all who are drinking with your unk today, go ahead and bust out your water glasses and giving thanks to the Most High. Ashe. So infusing it with frequencies, harmonic frequencies, loving intention, it allows that memory to be locked in and encoded, and thus now I'm consuming all of this prosperity, abundance, love, harmony, homeostasis into my body, and it's now going to infuse my cells with that energy. So this is just a quick little tidbit about water. Also, with hydrogen being the most primary substance, we have the hydrogen water generators. Y'all go check them out, man. We're on our third rendition through Secret Energy. It's the hydrogen hydrolux hydrogen generators. We also got the molecular hydrogen bath that's been going crazy. I know Rogan talked about it on his podcast, and so we just been selling out like crazy. So get you the molecular hydrogen bath, bathe in the holy waters, you know, add in some herbs, add in a little bit of essential oils. We got the rosemary right here, a blessed herb. We've got some eucalyptus essential oil. Throw some salt there, add that to your water. In fact, I'm about to do that right now. So I'm gonna let y'all go, man, but this is just a quick little tidbit about holy water. Infuse, charge up your water, pray over your water, send some Reiki, send some loving energy to the water. That's going to comprise of 70% of the body, which comprises 70% of the face of this earth, you know, not to mention all that's inside the earth. And basically it's just water found all across the cosmos, carrying that knowledge and information for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. So it's your Uncle T. I'm gonna holla at you. I appreciate y'all for seeing and hearing me. Until we meet again, wholeness. Drink your water.